A royal name, an old scandal, and now words from a former American president that are shaking the political world tonight. When power, money, and global leaders mix together, the story does not stay quiet. It grows louder. And now, after reports of the arrest of Epstein-linked former royal Prince Andrew, Donald Trump is calling it a very sad thing. But what does that really mean? And why is this moment sending shockwaves across two nations? This is a developing and sensitive story that is drawing attention from both the United States and the United Kingdom. Reports are circulating regarding the arrest of Prince Andrew, a former senior royal who has long faced questions about his past connection to Jeffrey Epstein. While officials continue to review the legal situation, political leaders and public figures are reacting quickly. Among them is former U.S. President Donald Trump, who described the situation as a very sad thing. Tonight's headline is not just about a royal figure. It is about history, controversy, and the deep scars left behind by the Epstein scandal. The name Jeffrey Epstein remains one of the most troubling names in modern history. His crimes shocked the world. His powerful connections raised serious questions. And after his death in jail in 2019, many people believed the full story might never be known. Yet years later, the shadow of that case still reaches across borders. Prince Andrew, once known as the Duke of York and a member of the British royal family, stepped back from public duties years ago after facing heavy criticism over his association with Jeffrey Epstein. At the time, public pressure grew quickly. Interviews and media reports increased the heat. Questions were raised about meetings, travel, and friendships. Although Prince Andrew denied wrongdoing, the damage to his public image was clear. In the years that followed, legal matters continued and settlements were reached in civil cases, but the debate never truly ended. Now, with reports of his arrest, the story has returned in a powerful way. Across newsrooms in London, New York, and Washington, analysts are reviewing what this could mean. Is this the start of a larger legal action? Is it connected to ongoing investigations? Authorities have not released full details yet, and that uncertainty is adding to public tension. Into this tense moment steps Donald Trump. The former president, who once moved in high social circles that included wealthy and famous individuals, including Jeffrey Epstein, spoke briefly when asked about the arrest reports. His words were short but noticeable. He said it was a very sad thing. Those 5 words are now being discussed across television panels and online platforms. Why would Trump choose those words? Some observers say he may be speaking about the fall of a public figure. Others suggest he may be referring to the larger scandal and its painful impact. Supporters say his comment shows sympathy for a complicated situation. Critics question whether the remark avoids deeper accountability. Whatever the reason, the statement has added a political layer to what is already a legal and international story. This case is not just about one man. It touches the image of the British monarchy. It brings back the painful memories of Epstein's crimes. It raises fresh questions about how powerful people are held responsible. And it also puts political leaders in a careful position when speaking publicly. In both the United States and the United Kingdom, public trust is an important issue. When high-profile figures face legal trouble, many citizens want clear answers. They want fairness. They want justice to apply to everyone equally, no matter their title or status. That is why tonight's development is being watched so closely. As of now, official statements from legal teams and government offices are limited. Investigations often take time. Evidence must be reviewed. Courts must follow process. But even before full details are known, reactions are shaping public opinion. For many viewers, the Epstein case remains unfinished in their minds. Questions about connections, meetings, and influence still linger. The arrest report connected to Prince Andrew brings those questions back to the surface. And when a former U.S. president like Donald Trump comments, even briefly, it pushes the story into a global spotlight once again. Tonight, we begin by laying out what we know so far, what we do not know yet, and why this moment matters. This is not just a headline. It is part of a larger story about power, responsibility, and the long shadow of scandal. As new information becomes available, we will continue to bring updates and clear facts. Because when global figures are involved, every word counts, every reaction matters, and every development can change the direction of the story. To understand why this moment is so serious, we have to go back in time. The name Jeffrey Epstein first made major headlines many years ago. He was a wealthy man with powerful friends. He moved in circles that included business leaders, celebrities, and politicians. But behind that public image were serious crimes that shocked the world. When he was arrested and later died in jail in 2019, many people believed the full truth about his connections might never come out. One of the names that became closely linked to Epstein was Prince Andrew, a senior member of the British royal family at the time. Photos of the two together began to spread in the media. Reports showed that Prince Andrew had visited Epstein's homes. Questions began to grow louder. What was the nature of their friendship? How close were they? What did Prince Andrew know? In 2019, Prince Andrew gave a television interview that was meant to clear his name. Instead, it created even more controversy. Many viewers felt his answers raised more questions than they solved. Public reaction in the United Kingdom was strong. Soon after, Prince Andrew stepped back from his royal duties. He said he would no longer represent the royal family in public events. That decision showed how serious the situation had become. Later, a civil case was filed in the United States accusing Prince Andrew of wrongdoing connected to Epstein. Prince Andrew denied the claims. In 2022, the case was settled outside of court. The settlement did not include an admission of guilt, but it brought financial and public consequences. Even after the settlement, the damage to his reputation remained. The Epstein case itself has always been bigger than one person. It raised deep concerns about how powerful people use their influence. Many victims said they felt ignored for years. They wanted justice. They wanted the truth to be known. Because of that, any new legal move connected to Epstein's circle quickly becomes major news. Now, with reports of an arrest involving Prince Andrew, the old wounds are reopening. Authorities have not yet shared full public details about the legal grounds. It is important to remember that in any legal system, a person is considered innocent until proven guilty. Arrest does not mean conviction. There are still many steps in the legal process. Investigations must be reviewed. Evidence must be tested in court. But the public reaction is already intense. In the United Kingdom, the royal family has worked for years to protect its image and stability. The monarchy plays a symbolic role in national life. It stands for tradition and unity. When a senior royal becomes involved in legal controversy, it creates pressure not just for the individual, but for the entire institution. In the United States, the Epstein case still carries strong emotions. Many Americans feel that powerful figures avoided serious punishment. They remember the headlines. They remember the questions that were never fully answered. So when the name of someone linked to Epstein appears again in connection with law enforcement, people pay close attention. Legal experts say that if formal charges are filed, the case could involve international cooperation between US and UK authorities. That process can be slow and complex. There may be hearings, appeals, and legal arguments over jurisdiction. It could take months or even years before final outcomes are known. At the same time, media coverage is growing. News channels are reviewing past interviews. Old photos are being shown again. Commentators are debating what this means for the future of the British monarchy. Some are asking whether this situation could lead to further investigations into other figures connected to Epstein. And this is where the story becomes larger than just one arrest. It becomes about accountability. It becomes about whether powerful names face the same legal standards as ordinary citizens. That question has followed the Epstein case from the very beginning. Meanwhile, political leaders are being asked to respond. That includes former President Donald Trump, who once knew Epstein socially many years ago before publicly distancing himself. Trump's comment that the situation is a very sad thing adds another layer to an already complicated story. His words are now part of the public record. As we move forward, what matters most are verified facts. Rumors can spread quickly, especially online. But courts rely on evidence, not headlines. Investigators rely on testimony, documents, and legal standards. Until official documents are released, much of the public discussion will remain based on limited information. What is clear tonight is this: the Epstein scandal is not a closed chapter. It continues to affect powerful people across the globe. The reported arrest of Prince Andrew has brought that reality back into focus. The world is watching closely, and the legal process is only just beginning. When former President Donald Trump was asked about reports surrounding the arrest of Prince Andrew, his response was short but powerful. He called it a very sad thing. Just 5 simple words. But in politics, even a short sentence can carry heavy meaning. Trump has a long history of speaking directly and quickly when major stories break. Sometimes his words create strong support. Sometimes they create strong criticism. This time, his reaction has opened a new debate. What did he mean by sad? Was he speaking about Prince Andrew as a person? Was he speaking about the damage to the royal family? Or was he talking about the larger Epstein scandal and how it continues to bring pain years later? It is important to remember that Trump, like many wealthy and public figures in the past, once knew Jeffrey Epstein socially. Photos from years ago showed them at events. Trump has said in the past that he cut ties with Epstein long before Epstein's arrest. There has been no charge against Trump connected to Epstein's crimes. Still, because of those past social links, any comment he makes about this case draws attention. Supporters of Trump say his words show sympathy for a situation that has become tragic for many people. They argue that the fall of a public figure, especially someone from a royal family, is naturally sad. They say the entire Epstein case has brought shame and pain to many lives, and that sadness is an honest reaction. Critics, however, question whether the comment was too soft. They argue that the focus should remain on victims and justice. For them, the main issue is not the sadness of a powerful person facing trouble, but the seriousness of the crimes connected to Epstein's network. They believe leaders must be very careful with their words in such sensitive cases. The political impact of Trump's comment is also important. In the United States, Trump remains a powerful voice within his party. His words often shape headlines. Media outlets quickly picked up his very sad thing remark and began analyzing it. Talk shows debated it. Social media amplified it. Even international news organizations repeated it. In the United Kingdom, the reaction has been just as strong. The British public is deeply protective of the monarchy, but they also expect accountability. Hearing an American former president comment on a British royal matter adds another layer to the story. It shows how global this case has become. Political analysts say this moment shows how connected today's world is. A legal action in London quickly becomes a debate in Washington. A short comment in the United States becomes a headline in Europe. There are no borders when it comes to major scandals involving powerful names. There is also the question of timing. Trump's comment comes at a moment when political divisions in America are already sharp. Every public statement is viewed through a political lens. Some see his words as neutral. Others try to read deeper meaning into them. That is the nature of modern politics. At the same time, this story reminds people of the long shadow cast by Jeffrey Epstein. Even after his death, his name still appears in news cycles. His connections continue to bring consequences for others. The Epstein case has become one of the most talked about scandals of the last decade. It is not easily forgotten. For Trump, speaking on this issue carries both risk and responsibility. As a former president, his words matter on the world stage. Every sentence can influence public discussion. Some political experts believe his comment was carefully chosen to avoid taking a strong legal position while still showing reaction. Others believe it reflects his personal view of the situation. What cannot be denied is this: the political world is now tied into this legal story. The arrest report involving Prince Andrew is no longer only about the royal family or the courts. It is also about public leaders, media narratives, and global opinion. As the story develops, we can expect more reactions from political figures in both countries. Some may call for patience until facts are clear. Others may demand stronger statements. But tonight, One thing is certain. 5 simple words from Donald Trump have added new fuel to an already intense story. And in today's fast-moving world, even a short comment can echo far beyond the moment it was spoken. As this story continues to unfold, the question on everyone's mind is, what comes next? Legal experts caution that while reports of Prince Andrew's arrest are serious, they do not yet tell the full story. An arrest is only the beginning of a legal process, not a verdict. Courts require evidence, hearings, and careful review before any final decisions are made. For the public, it's easy to jump to conclusions, but the legal system moves at its own pace. Authorities in both the United Kingdom and the United States will be coordinating to ensure that all procedures are followed. If formal charges are filed, the case could involve international law considerations, extradition discussions, and multiple rounds of hearings. Each step will be documented and closely monitored by media outlets around the world. Legal analysts predict that the next few months could see intense courtroom activity, statements from lawyers, and possibly new revelations connected to past investigations of Jeffrey Epstein's network. Beyond the courtroom, public reaction will remain high. In the UK, citizens are watching closely to see how the royal family manages this delicate situation. The monarchy has a centuries-long history, and any member facing legal trouble becomes a public concern. Public confidence, the reputation of the royal household, and the perception of fairness and justice will all be under scrutiny. In the US, Trump's comments and the political debate surrounding his statement add another layer. Analysts say that this international story is as much about public opinion as it is about legal facts. Meanwhile, media organizations are preparing for continued coverage. News channels are reviewing past interviews, legal documents, and photographs connected to both Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. Social media platforms are full of discussion, speculation, and debate. Experts caution the public to focus on verified information rather than rumors. The fast pace of reporting can sometimes make it difficult to separate fact from speculation, especially in cases involving high-profile individuals. For political observers, this story will continue to have ramifications. Trump's comment calling the situation a very sad thing shows how intertwined media, politics, and international events have become. Every public statement is analyzed and dissected. Experts predict that politicians, both in the US and the UK, will be asked to respond further. Some may call for calm and patience until full facts are known. Others may use the moment to press for accountability and transparency. In the coming weeks, we can expect a combination of legal, political, and public developments. There may be court dates announced, legal filings made public, or further statements from lawyers and representatives. The royal family will likely issue updates as needed to address public concern, and media outlets will continue to monitor the situation closely. Social media will remain a significant platform for discussion and opinion, making public perception a key factor in how the story unfolds. At the heart of the story is the broader issue of justice and accountability. The Epstein case, even after his death, continues to affect lives around the world. Victims' voices, legal proceedings, and public opinion intersect in ways that highlight the importance of transparency and careful reporting. How Prince Andrew's case develops will be watched not only for legal outcomes, but for its impact on institutions, reputations, and public trust. Tonight, as we watch these developments, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. Every step will be scrutinized, every statement analyzed, and every outcome debated. The arrest marks a turning point in a saga that has spanned years, and the world is now waiting to see how justice, politics, and public opinion will intersect in the weeks and months ahead. For viewers at home, staying informed and following verified updates will be crucial. This is more than a headline. It is a story that affects nations, institutions, and the way we view accountability at the highest levels. Anchor close. I'm Alex Wick, reporting live. Right now, as of this hour in the US, the story of Prince Andrew's arrest is unfolding, and we'll continue to bring you verified updates as they happen. Stay tuned for the latest, because this is a story that is still very much in motion.